Welcome, everybody, to the Rideshare Rodeo Podcast, episode 500. It's pretty huge. If you are not familiar with my guest today, you will be here soon. He is the co-host of Show Me the Money Club. He is the senior contributor at the Rideshare Guy, Mr. Sergio Avedian. Thank you for joining me today.
Steve, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here on your 500th. We have done 174 Show Me the Monies.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Chris about it. He goes, we're not going to do 500. And I mean, no, so seriously, what an accomplishment. And, you know, you're a good friend. Unlike other people, I have met you in person, actually, a couple of times. So,
yeah.
Thank you, really. And my hat's off to you, man. I mean, what an accomplishment. And you stick to your guns and you didn't, do other stuff. You just kind of follow, your playbook. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you for having me.
It really, and that's one of the things. Do I have it here real accessible? I wanted to show you that on the 300th episode. No. Here it was. I don't know if you remember this, but so it was November 21st, 2023 was the 300th episode. I had Sergio on, and he said, "Okay, I'll see you again at the 500th episode."
I did. I remember that. And so it looks like I do every 200. So I'll be back on the 700, folks. So what is that? You do one a week, right?
It drops every Tuesday, but I also used to do the roundtables would go to.
Okay. But so let's see, 200 divided by so in 4 years I'll be back.
Well, here was the first one was May 6th of 2020. So that was a month into stay-at-home orders. And I think I put this on Twitter. I don't think I put it on other platforms, but I think it's really interesting because I didn't even remember this was the title. I think it's funny that my first episode title is this.
Still relevant.
Uber, Lyft drivers, independent contractors, or employees. It's like, that was my first podcast episode. Now here we are 500 later, and it's not like nothing's been accomplished or we haven't gotten anywhere along the way, but it's, I mean, you're like you just said, it's still relevant. It's still a debated issue, and it depends where you live and all kinds of things. So
nothing, a lot has changed in the game, obviously, in the rideshare game and the delivery game, and we all follow it and we all talk about it weekly on our channel, on your channel, and many other channels. But I think our two channels are probably more aligned when it comes to talking about real stuff and trying to, do some good. Not that the other channels don't do good for the community, but I think we have, for lack of a better word, we probably have more substance. We talk about other real stuff that's going on, that's going to affect a lot of people, as opposed to bash constantly or look, negative sells, but I think you keep it super balanced, and that's your reason for your success, I'm pretty sure, and we keep it very balanced. So yeah, man, I mean, no, I'm serious, and heartfelt congratulations, really.
Thank you. And I mean, to add to what you're saying too, like I think that for some content creators too, you guys all need to realize that I know Chris and Sergio do it as well, but we all put in a lot of time researching what we do bring to you in an hour.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just whipping that together. Like,
so our first Show Me the Money, it took me maybe, literally no joke, it took me about 15 hours because we do 8, 9, 10 topics sometimes if we don't have a guest on, right? If we have a guest, then it goes more. Like I have to research the product, who they are, what they've done in the past. It's a different story. But on a show with no guest, initial shows took literally that long because, a lot of people think we just come on and yak. It's not like that, right? If you have 10 different topics, you need screenshots for those topics.
Yep.
And then we're going to create segments out of those topics as individual videos that we do on our channel. Well, you need to talk about it for 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes on each topic. It is not easy to talk about something 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes. And you need to create talking points because you can't remember everything you want to say and you'll miss something important. And
right, but you can't script it either because
nope.
you're going to get it taken off in all directions.
Yep. Nope. And so now it takes me about 8 hours a week. Yeah, I have streamlined it with the help of a little bit more AI, obviously, and that helps a lot.
It also helps a lot when people like you and I have researched something so much that when there's a little change or something to it, it's not like we have to go back to the beginning. We pretty much, we're like, oh, this is new to this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, it takes a lot of work. It's just not.
But I'll say that I think that both. I mean, your show's always done really well, and both our podcasts I think are growing right now because people are feeling more than ever what's going on. What is going on here?
Yeah.
I mean, the veterans for sure, without question, and a lot of them get it to different degrees, but even the newbies I see coming in and they're like, wait, I'm really confused why you can't make money.
Good question.
And I just tell them, everything is so different. It's market to market. It's not just market to market. It's app to app. App performance. I talked to some people who are like, you can't do that good on that app in your city. I do. But I guess what you're telling me when you ask a question like that or make a statement like that is that you can't in your market. And I believe that.
Absolutely. Because, you said city to city, right? Each market is different. Well, let's take my market of Los Angeles, right? Huge county with 10 million people in it. If you're doing deliveries, you could be in a part of town that is absolutely dead, and you could be in a part of town that is absolutely kicking, right? Yep. So even market to market is, I think, too big of a picture to look at unless you're in some small city. But if and most of us live in like Denver, let's say, and LA and whatever, New York, it's different. It's so different that even neighborhood to neighborhood things are going to change. The demand changes, and then you need to study this. That's the problem that I see.
Yeah.
The problem with the workforce I see is this. They hear something on YouTube, they read something somewhere. I'm just going to turn my app on, open my mouth, and I'm just going to get fed. I'm like not going to work like that. And, from my old trading days to today, actually, I brought that to gig economy world. I'm sure I said it to you many times, and I say it on our channel. I pay attention to the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps is patience, position, and planning. If you don't have the 3 Ps, as a gig worker, rideshare driver, delivery, courier, whatever you are, whatever app you're on, you're just not going to have success. There is a reason in every city, the top 10% drivers earn literally 3x of the bottom 10%. Well, they're in the same city. They have the same demand, but what the top 10% has done, put some thought into what they're doing. They have a strategy. Yep. And not only that, they adapt, they adjust, because as you know, and I know very well, and everybody here knows, the game constantly changes, and you have to adapt and change because these companies are terrific at moving the goalpost and changing the game.
100%.
But if you use, if you use a little of your brains, which you should, God gave you a brain, use it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, let me shout. I mean, by the way, Twitter people, I'd love to see a Twitter comment because I know I can see from the numbers that a handful are watching on Twitter. So, and sometimes I wonder if those comments come through as much, but just wanted to say hi to the people in here. What's up, Josh? Hey, this is our friend A. She lives in Poland. How are you, A?
Poland. Wow.
Poland, yeah, and she actually she joins the lives every once in a while, especially if I'm in the car, which I haven't done in a while. But I think maybe it's just talking to Americans too. But Derek, how are you? Thank you very much. Brian, thank you. Traveler.
I know Traveler with the same bug eyes. He comes on my finance channel every time I'm doing a live. So Traveler, what's up?
Sergio, you met Traveler here in Denver.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not the name he goes by. That's not, but I won't say it.
Yeah. But I meet so many people, Steve. Like I meet so many people. Like yesterday, I was at a webinar. I met a whole bunch of drivers. It's really difficult to remember names.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to remember YouTube names than names.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
Bubba Sue's in here. Lynn's in here. Hi, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn, I know.
Yeah. And Rideshare Lisa, which is just Lisa now.
There you go.
So
she quit Rideshare.
Yeah. And we got, of course, we got Rick.
I met Rick actually a couple of times.
Oh yeah, me too. Rick stayed with us at the. Oh, you didn't stay with us, but you were at the house the whole time.
Yeah. I was hanging out with Zach and Kim and you and David and all the good folks in Denver.
Yeah, we had outside of all the events too. That was a good time. What's up, Gary? He says the top 10% are using Maximo.
I believe it.
I heard you give Gary a shout out on Show Me the Money Club yesterday, by the way.
I do all the time. I do. Gary, look, there are people in the industry that I respect, and I give them shout outs all the time. Like I do it with the Coast to Coast people, with Matt. We even have a Matt's Corner now because he puts out such amazing stuff out of Boston.
Yeah.
Gary, obviously, look, there are solid people in the industry that you will not be guided wrong if you listen to these people. Okay?
No. And when he says Matt, some of you guys on YouTube, on Twitter, you guys would know, but on YouTube won't know who that is. But on Twitter, it's a whole different entity too, that we talk to a whole different group of people, I think.
Yeah.
Who have a lot different things to say sometimes than they do on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get into some good conversations on Twitter.
Yeah, I like Twitter. I don't like it the last 2 days, yesterday and today.
Yes.
I actually turned it off last 2 days. I was not engaging. I mean, look, I don't know it's not political. And we know what happened to Charlie Kirk.
And I was going to say that too, because today is 9/11.
I was just going to say that too, because I remember 9/11. I was in New York. I remember 9/11 like today. I was in New York. The buildings that I used to work in coming down, that has changed my life forever. So
yeah,
I used to work in one of the buildings when I first started on Wall Street. I literally did on the fourth floor. And then on one of the buildings, we used to go all express elevator, of course, all the way to the top. There was a bar that we would just go every single day. It used to be called Windows of the World, and it would rotate around one of the Twin Towers. And that changed my life forever. And so rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
I would even say the woman from Ukraine who was murdered on the train.
North Carolina. Yep.
And I don't know if you know this, Sergio, but we had another school shooting here yesterday.
Yesterday, you did. I saw that.
And a child was killed right after the Charlie Kirk thing, like an hour after.
Yep, I saw that. But nobody deserves that to speak their mind. To get shot and killed at the age of 31 with 2 kids. But then look, people die all the time, right? Right while we're talking, people are dying. Not in that horrific situation, obviously. But so 9/11, we came out of it, obviously, stronger and better than ever. And that's why as an immigrant, I always say I'm blessed to be in a country like this. And to me, the important thing is what you do with your life, right? And the path you choose. And that goes with the gig economy. You chose a path. Doesn't mean that's the only thing you can do. But unfortunately, a little segue is a lot of people are stuck in this gig world. And they're exchanging a lot they're giving up a lot. And I'm not sure if they're receiving enough. And I just want to say that, there's other things to do.
That's why I say not only, I used to always just say, know your value, but now I say reassess your value.
Absolutely. Reassess your value, have a reality check, have a honest talk with yourself.
Yeah.
Where you are in life, your age obviously makes a huge difference. At my age, I'm set for life financially. I don't really worry about any of that stuff. But then I'm still trying to learn things. Learning never ends. But long story short, yeah, we're at a difficult time, obviously in a country like ours. But again, even with all the problems that people think that we have, we're in the best country on the planet. Because if you have not traveled, that would be my top recommendation.
I mean, I've done not since all of these issues, but I've done travel for production work around the globe.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen the other countries a lot. I mean, they're great. In Europe, everything's very small. You can drive through a country in 20 minutes. Like, wait, what just happened? But I mean, like, they are all different, and I don't think people, all the time do put that into perspective. That when everybody's all down on this market, yeah, there are a lot of negative things going on. But like he just said, go other places, and you'll see some real plight and issues.
Yeah. I mean, because people complain about, oh, my internet is down, or it's not fast enough, or this. Just go to Gaza for a week. Let's see if you survive there for a week. Go to Ukraine for a week.
I don't think you can fly to Gaza right now. But
no, what I'm saying is that people just exaggerate things in this country. That this is so bad. This is so bad. Nothing is bad. Nothing is as bad as you think it is. And it's the same thing in the gig economy. It's not bad. Well, if it was that bad, why are more people than ever doing it? Obviously, there's macro reasons for that. But the point is, you know this, right? We deal with a lot of complaining drivers and couriers and this and that. Yeah. But then the next day, they turn the app on again. So, I say it on our channel, and Harry doesn't like it. But as I say what I need to say is delete the apps. You don't need to be in this game. But if you're going to be in this game, do it the way it's supposed to be done. So maybe incrementally, you can improve your earnings. Look, if you're going to be out there 40 hours a week, Steve.
Yeah.
And if you're earning $20 gross, if you just move that to 22, just 22, 10% incremental improvement by doing certain things differently, as opposed to being stuck in your mind. That's $2 an hour. That's $80 a week. That's $320 a month. That's $5,000 almost a year. Doing the exact same thing, but doing it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that's I think our channel, that's what we try to do, right? Incremental improvement, because there is a glass ceiling in this game. We know you can't do more than 4 probably rideshare trips an hour. Maybe you probably can't do more than 3 deliveries an hour. But then do it well, do it right, and earn some more if you're going to stay in the game.
And I also lately I've been telling people too as well that make sure that you know those, if you've been doing this long enough and that between these 3 hours it's dead every day, don't sit out there.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, even if it's just get inside some air conditioning, get on I challenge people every month to send out like, for me it's a little different, but for everybody, whatever you would want, I say send out your resume, no matter what format it's in, because it'll make you want to revamp it a little bit. But go for a job that is completely out of your reach.
Yeah,
just one. Just do it for fun.
Yeah,
you never know, especially if it's something that interests you.
I mean, specifically if you're doing rideshare, right? You're in a car with a stranger all the time.
Yep.
And I tell a lot of drivers that I meet, that I go, that could be your next boss. Actually, that could be an interview. That could be a very important person in your car. That could literally change your life, right? So sell yourself. Learn how to sell yourself. Learn stuff. There's no age. Like, I still learn. I love learning, even at my age. Not that I'm that old, but I want to use this a lot, because it's like, if I don't use it, I feel like it's going to just rot. So I'm like, I gotta use the brain, man, because I think my brain is only like 15% full. I think 85% is empty. So, which most of people's are. All I'm saying is, there are ways to improve yourself. There are ways to, I know a lot of gig workers feel helpless, But there are ways. You just gotta just pick yourself up and try to do it. It's easy for me to say, I get it. But no gig worker can tell me that I have nothing else going in my life. Well, nobody's going to give it to you. You have to create that. How do you create that? Start learning a trade, maybe, if you're young enough. You don't need to do this. You're better than this. Not that gig work is bad, but there are so many things you can do in life. And
Hannibal and I did a series. Actually, I did the second one alone too. And I it's called Beyond the Algorithm. We tried to show you and a lot of them are just more things you can do from your phone while you're sitting in your car.
Yep.
Like,
as opposed to watching YouTube.
Some people have got back to me and said, dude, that doesn't pay well. I always respond with, how much were you making sitting in your car? 0. Pays better than that.
Yeah. That not only they always equate stuff with pay, right? I am a huge believer in information and education. That's power. And it may not, hey Kim, it may not pay you well now, but what is your foundation? Did you set up a great foundation for yourself? Do you know what this is all about? Like, it could be literally, you could have a laptop in your car in the dead times. Maybe you're a graphic designer. Maybe you're doing something. Worst comes to worst, answer your emails, productive. Like, that's what I do when I deliver. Yeah. I don't just sit there because I'm cherry picking anyway. It's like accepting 1 out of 10. I'm in the car for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, answer emails or edit a video or whatever I need to do. Be productive any way you can. Don't just sit there and watch YouTube or TikTok and swipe. It's not going to get you anywhere other than brain cells. You're going to kill a lot of brain cells when you do that. Yeah. So my thing is seriously, learn about other things. Learn about whatever it could be. Learn about investing. Learn about, learn about stuff that you're not familiar with. Get in the deep end of the pool of some other topic that you have no idea about. How do you know? Right? How do you know that's not going to be your future? How do you know? You got to try.
Yeah.
But people don't try enough. They're just very comfortable in their little shell, and they go like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, like Dashing Grandpa here, for instance, he has his second channel, Grandpa's Random Reviews. Now he reviews products and makes his money that way.
Yeah. Learn how to sell stuff on eBay. Learn how to do stuff on Amazon. Yeah. I know maybe the train has passed. I have a driver friend in Florida. He's in his 50s. We were talking a few months ago, and in Florida there's a season, right? It's in summertime. Everybody leaves Florida, and so it's like dead here, Serge. He does black and upper end, lower end. He goes, Serge, there's nothing here. I go, well, did you think of doing something else in those maybe 4 months that nobody's in town? And he has like high-end clientele that literally leave town. The Palm Beaches and all those people. And so I said, did you ever think of like maybe just because my wife does it, so I don't do it, but I know what she's doing.
Sure.
She does eBay. Right. Yep. So guess what? Now he's posting on Twitter. He goes to, these, what stores are those? You can buy stuff for like a couple of bucks and then flip it on eBay for like 20.
Yeah.
Goodwill store, right? Goodwill things like that. And he goes, Serge, I never thought about it. Now, does that have its problems? Of course it does. But still, it's additional income if you're thinking of doing it. And it has to start somewhere. You can't just say, oh, it will not work, because our whole world is negative anyway, as it is. What you can do is you can get on Twitter, get on Insta, get on Facebook, and read all the negative garbage that the algo is feeding you. Or you can shut all that off and use the brain to learn something new. And I'm a huge proponent of that. I really am. And, yeah.
Yeah, there's a channel called, it used to be called, his new channel is called Joe on the Go. It's a friend of mine in Detroit. And he used to be Let's Play DoorDash was his handle name on YouTube. Okay. And he had a channel. And now it's Joe on the Go. And he literally does storage wars.
There you go.
He has a website even. He was on this podcast and we talked about it. He gave out the website. and you can do virtual bidding on these storage lockers. They open the door. You can't go to them anymore in Detroit or whatever, but you can do it online, and it's real time. They show you inside the thing. You got a couple minutes to decide. And the first locker he bought, he got for $300, and he's made over $4,000 on it.
There you go. Well, look, those are not the regular.
I know that doesn't happen every day.
Right? However, in life, okay, you got to take risk.
Yeah.
We are taking risk at gig workers, rideshare drivers, doing somebody else's work. We're taking risk, drive late hours, drunk hours, whatever it is, or doing deliveries in bad parts of neighborhoods, or going up apartments and locking everything. We're taking risk. Why don't you take risk that could benefit you and you have some control over stuff? Because you're in charge. You're in control, right? Another great driver from Florida taught me something, which I'm going to use the rest of my life, and so I'm going to pass it on. He says, Sergio, you have two circles in life. And he was an executive. Now he drives Uber, retired. And he says, there's a circle of influence and there's a circle of control. And he goes, you need to manage both really, really well to be successful in life. And it seems like you've done well. I'm going, that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is, this is not an advice channel. I'm not giving advice, but I've figured this out for myself, that if you're in a circle of influence, use it properly. But when it comes to the gig world, we have no control other than turning the app on or off whenever we want. Everything else is in somebody else's control. Yep. So if you're sitting in your car waiting for a delivery, you have 3 hours to kill. Why don't you take some risk in you, right? In yourself, and learn something. It may fail. It most likely will. But the process of learning that, and process of executing, and process of putting a plan together is so refreshing to me, right? That I think it's the best thing you can do for yourself. And a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people are just comfortable swiping on TikTok. I'm going like, this is garbage.
Well, the other thing is, and you know this, you and I have fought for this for years. We're independent contractors. It needs to stay that way. The part-timers wouldn't even be able to. Big confusion. But if that's the case, and I understand a lot of people came right from W-2, but if you're an independent contractor, take advantage of it. Try, don't watch one channel one day and go look at something that interests you and see if there's any way you could find your way into that. Go, heck, see if there's some free classes on YouTube. There's a bunch. In fact, Sergio, you might as well do it now. Plug your finance channel.
Look, real quick. You guys know me from the other channel, the Rideshare Guy. My background is in finance. I was on Wall Street as a derivatives and equities trader for 30 years. And so about a year ago, I started the channel under my name, @Sergio Avedian. And I know that game 10x more than the rideshare or the delivery game. And so all I'm doing in that channel is passive, just paid forward. A lot of good information, a lot of education, teaching you how to invest, teaching you how to trade. If you want to trade, become a trader. Don't be the Robin Hood, YOLO, FOMO crowd. You're going to blow account after account, and you're going to have a bad experience. Even in that one, you need experience. You need proper information. And I think everybody here on the chat, Steve, they should be investing. And we were talking in the green room before we came, and that's the problem that I see. As a gig worker, don't you ever tell me, but I don't have any money left. I don't care. If you understand the rule of 72, if you understand the compounding, okay, doesn't matter. Does not matter. You can put $10 this week in a Robinhood account and buy some ETF. You can do $5 next week. Well, next week you had a good week. Maybe you could put in $50. How about this? How about you don't eat out as a gig worker? The garbage that we're eating that messes up our health because we're sitting, it's sedentary mostly. Or how about we pass on that $7 latte every morning at Starbucks and put that money, $7 times 5, in a Robinhood account or a Schwab account and start dollar cost averaging into some index. And in 10 years, 20 years, that money is going to snowball into numbers that you can't even imagine. This is above and beyond if you have a W-2. So that's what I'm trying to do there. I'm trying to pay it forward, teach people how to do stuff properly. And it's growing, but I love teaching. So if you guys enjoy investing or trading or learning, don't come with your YOLO attitude. Don't come with your day trading attitude. We don't like that stuff. But you will definitely learn. So do that. Do anything. Look, man, I'm telling you, this rideshare thing is probably coming to an end. Maybe not now, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, but it's coming to an end. And that's the other thing. Can I get something off my chest here, Steve? This is the big problem in this country. This is the problem in this country. We do not teach about finance. I'm not talking hedge fund, high finance, and all that stuff. Just simple finance, rule of 72, compounding effects, things like that. We don't teach it in elementary school, middle school, high school, and all the way to college.
I don't even think we teach fiscal responsibility.
We don't teach anything like that. Do you know about why? Because we don't teach it, because we want a dependent society. We want everybody to be in plastic crack called credit cards. We just want to spend, get some endorphins going, buy something for yourself. Excuse my language, don't be the bitch of the banks. They're giving you the plastic so you can spend, so you carry a balance. You want to carry a balance? That's going to cost you a lot more. But what I'm saying is we don't teach that stuff. We teach a lot of different things. We teach about sex, and we teach about all these things in middle school, elementary school, high school, all that stuff. But somehow we neglect to teach finance. We neglect to teach investing. We need to teach all of this stuff. This country would be so much better off. But they don't do it. They should.
There's a lot of comments coming in on this, but I got to say, like, Traveler kind of hits it here that I know that he's making a lot of people can't balance a checkbook. That's where I get into, I feel like those people slipped in the crack and are here as independent contractors and going, well, I want to make more money. And look, it's not like that. If you came from a W-2, you need to, you should be taking advantage of this time, even if it's slower or the earnings are down. Like we just said, learn about some of this stuff. That's what you got. Learn. You have we all know you have the time.
Trust me, man. I have an app on my phone now that it shows me how many hours I'm on social networks, right? Twitter and Facebook. Or I don't have Facebook. I hate that company. But, other things, right? So I have limited myself now to 3 hours a day. Because that's very addictive. It really is. You can be on. I don't have TikTok on my phone anymore. I don't do any of the shorts. Swipe. I mean, just spent an hour. I didn't do anything in that hour.
Right, you tell Chris to do
them. Yeah, in that hour, I could have learned. I could have learned so much in that hour, right?
Sure.
And look, there's 168 hours a week. We got to sleep some of it. I'd rather sleep less and learn something, right? Is it investing? Is it trading? Is it even if gig work? Learn. I mean, experiment, take risks.
Yeah.
Especially if you're younger, take risks because your best earning years are ahead of you.
Yeah.
And to me, it's it's not that difficult, man. It really isn't that difficult. But as big as we are, our reach is 220,000 people, but the blog is 350,000 people. It's a responsibility. I take it seriously, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to do that stuff, but because I'm truly enjoying my finance channel. I'm building a website, more education, free newsletter. I just want to pay it forward. I have zero gain. I'm spending my own money to do all this stuff, which I don't have to at this stage of my life, but I love teaching. I love people to do better. And the only way you're going to do better is invest. I did an interview. You guys can go check it out. I did a great interview with an Indian friend of mine who's a huge believer in Bitcoin. And he said something at the end of the interview which resonated with me. He said, Sergio, tell your people not to slave harder. He said, save in hard assets. And that couldn't be truer. Look at all the hard assets. Look where you would be if you were investing the last 10 years. Look at stocks. Look at gold. look at real estate, look at crypto. That's all I'm saying, man. You got to invest. Don't go to Starbucks every day. Go once a week. Okay, take your $7 and put it in a little account and start dollar cost averaging.
Or not even. I got my little 5-cup coffee maker that's a Black & Decker that was like $11. I've had it for 3 years, man.
Yeah, man. We used to have what are those called? Keurig? Is it Keurig? The cups, little cups.
Little
those
pods.
Things are expensive now, man. Inflation. We used to buy like the big bag for like $25. Now it's like $60. I'm like, screw that shit. Yeah. I'm just gonna make my own coffee. I'm gonna buy the beans and grind it and do the best coffee better than Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I do want to look as we enter into Colorado transparency. So there's a couple things I want to mention here, and I know Sergio was part of this, so I want to walk through though, because I am doing a thing that some people are involved in, which is we've actually submitted to some lawmakers in different states.
Yeah.
Bobby's in here. We've done Louisiana through Bobby. Mm-hmm. Have It Your Way is Brian. We've done Pennsylvania. We've submitted it through these guys. Mm-hmm. But I want to make sure, because people get anxious real quick. Like, well, when will it change? Yeah. Well, let me give you a timeline here. And it doesn't. Now Colorado is a great base to use, but like I want to show you guys some things here. So in September 29th of 2022, I had Stephanie Vigil on, and she was running for the state House of Representatives here in Colorado. This is like what, a month before voting. And she won, and she was on then. And if you guys don't know, part of Stephanie's appeal is that she is a gig worker. And as far as we know, I don't know if we ever proved it wrong or if anybody ever showed us wrong, but I think she's the first gig worker to ever hold a state House or Senate position.
Yeah.
But then she comes back on in February of 2023, and we talked about 23-098, which included both rideshare and delivery. And then it was that summer that we had the town hall here, which I think was a major turning point.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think that, I know Senator Priola was not going to get involved because he was already done talking to Stephanie about it.
Yeah.
And then, so we did that, and we had that. But then, in February of 2024, after that town hall, the gig app legislation with Stephanie again had her back on, and they had split the bill from one bill into two. Mm-hmm. So there was a Senate bill and a House bill now. And that was a big deal to split those bills because there were too many issues with the overlapping problems with it being one bill. So that's where Priola came in. And then in June, this is when the court case happened. June of 2024, where the transparency laws that went into effect this January 1st for delivery, and on February 1st of this year for the TNC, the Senator Priola side. But we talked about, this is when the law was passed, and this is when that judge gave a very harsh warning to Uber, and he was kind of giving them the lead up of don't show up, don't file. You're not even supposed to do this, but he kind of was like, don't file an appeal a month before that you're not, because they accepted all the deal. They were like, we're down, we're in, count us good. And then all of a sudden, it showed me that he was sharper than a lot of people, because he was like, don't file an appeal a month before. I will not have time to review it, and I won't review it. He goes, if you're accepting it here today, you're accepting it. So then as we went down, that goes into effect, this one. And then she came, then she had come back on, and then here it is. So then January 14th, the DNC had gone in place. So delivery companies had to be transparent. They had to have human review of wrongful deactivations, that the things that we were asking for. But the TNC side was getting ready. And this is the date when it happened. January 14th, it was of this year. On 16 days later, the TNC side was going into effect. And what happened? I had to make another podcast the next week because Uber sued them saying that they're not going to follow the law for the TNC.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge literally, it was one of the, if you guys go research that case, you can pull it up as a Senate file. I can put it in the show notes. But if you read it, it's not even that long. It's like 3 pages and it's kind of easily worded. And he actually said, "What did I tell you in June last year?" I said, "Don't do this." He said, "I'm not going to spend the time getting into this." It was a really weird definition. I loved hearing it because it showed, I mean, it just kind of showed Uber, because a lot of times this is where they bow down. And so we have the transparency, and is it a step in the right direction? It absolutely is. I mean, I was going to tell you, Sergio, that now I know that we did a thing where, the wrong people were driving under illegal accounts, and I gave you guys some video that you used, but at the same time, where was I going with that? So, the editing of tips has been removed on the customer side.
Yeah. Well, that was the punishment, kind of, right? But they did the same thing in New York. But look, you guys have to understand, when a lot of drivers complain and they want things done, and I push back actually to all those drivers saying that, what have you done? What have you done?
Right.
You're in a city, you're complaining, grassroots campaign. Look at Washington, look at Seattle, look at Boston, Massachusetts. It took years to get these things done. People think just snap your fingers and then law passes. It doesn't work like that. Not only it doesn't work like that in regular times, but now you're against Goliath, with Uber being a 200 and, as of today's close, $30 billion market capitalization S&P 500 company. Do you guys think they're going to burn that 230 billion, or they're going to hire the best lawyers and tie this shit up, be in courts, do whatever they need to do? And sometimes people say, "Serge, why you say that?" I go, if I was Uber, I would do the same thing. What would you guys do? You would do the same thing. So these laws and these improvements that drivers get take years. It requires patience. And the problem with that is, Steve, 80% of drivers and couriers quit in less than 8 months. So then there's new blood comes in, and new blood comes in. And then they get impatient. They go "Oh, where is this and where is that?" I go, "Well, why don't you start something in your city? Why don't you start something like the Washington Drivers Union did, or Malda did in Minnesota, or whatever," right? My thing is, in all of this, is patience is required. You're fighting against Goliath. Once in a while you'll win, but it takes time. It takes years to improve things. And unfortunately, people don't have the patience. And most of the time, if you want to improve things, you need to do stuff yourself. You can't just say, "Hey, Serge, hey, Steve, do this and do that." I'm like, what are you doing? Why don't you go to the airport when you're there and create a group and do some grassroots campaigning for something that we're working on, maybe with legislators, right? Because we're just one person here, one person there, and we're trying to do the best we can. And people, I get it. They look at us as leaders and, voices of the community or whatever, but it's limited. I'm fighting against Uber. I meet with Uber and Lyft every week.
Yeah.
Every single week. And it's most of the time, it's like I'm just hitting my head on a concrete wall most of the time. But then, things get done and things have improved on the rideshare side. I'm not going to deny it. And some people listen. There are factions within these companies, by the way, for you folks, which I can say these things now, is this. There are groups of people in these companies that are really friendly to driver causes. And then there are groups of people in these companies that say F the driver continuously. So you try to build this bridge with the good people in the companies, with the idiots at the companies, but then ultimately they have to protect that $230 billion of market capitalization. And That doesn't come with bending over because Sergio wants some law passed. It's just not going to happen. It's not. Or
No,
Steve
but the
wants
more
something done in
states we get,
Colorado. It's not going to happen.
you can start kind of forming like what would you like to see also? Maybe you don't want to see the same thing Sergio and I are trying to see.
Yeah. But do something about it.
I want to see you. I just want to see people fight for what they want. They might not want what I want.
Steve, how many times we talk about this and everybody's hot to trot, right?
Yep.
And then you know those things that don't work, they're called strikes.
Yeah.
Guys, we go, okay, we're meeting here.
Platform, don't do it.
As big as RDU is in LA, we go, we're going to meet in front of City Hall. Like 8 people show up. I'm like, you were talking a lot. Where's your butt? Why don't you show up? We needed 300 people here making some noise. Oh, no, 10 people show up. Or we're going to meet in front of the Uber building. 50 people show up. I'm like, why don't like 1,000 people show up? No. So people talk a lot. And then when it comes to doing, not much gets done. So my thing is... Do
you know a reporter in your area?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
That is huge. It may be a family member, just put it out there. See if like, hey, does anybody know anybody at the Denver Post? I know a couple now. So like when I want to slip something through, I get a much quicker response than I would have years ago.
Yeah. I mean, look, my thing is talk is cheap. You got to do it. You got to help. You got to support, We're trying to do our best and we have had some success. I'm not going to say we didn't, but it's not easy. And you have worthy adversaries within these companies, and they are trying to protect. And they're not going to come to the table that easily. You have to find your proper city councils. You have to find, friendly city councils. None of this is going to work in red states. It's mostly in blue states. But look, if you're going to do stuff, start somewhere. Talking is cheap. You got to start. Now, do you want to come on my channel and amplify your voice because you created a drivers union, not your typical union like Washington Drivers Union? I'll amplify your voice. I'll put you in the papers, but you got to do some of the legwork.
You don't even need to call it a union, just whatever.
Whatever it is, group, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right? But people just talk a lot, because that also comes from, instant gratification. They go, yeah, there's that guy over there. He's doing something. I'm like, I need your support. I mean, there are, I've been to many city council meetings that I'm thinking like 100 drivers are going to show up. 4 will show up. I'm like, bro, we're just here. Why don't you guys show up? And then the next week they'll complain. I'm like, look, yeah, it's a weird thing, man.
Gary submitted a bill as well in his state, and he's talking. And his was a red state. He's in Oklahoma.
Yeah, good luck.
So but he's already talking. He's already talking with the with one of his representatives.
Yeah, well, no, but even in red states, there are parts that are friendly to.
Yeah, you just got to keep barreling down and finding those right people.
Yep. You got to find the right people. You got to support them. You got to raise funds for them. Look, man, this is a game we're playing. It's not an easy game against 2, 3, DoorDash, right? Uber, DoorDash. Look, they're not going to give you anything for free. They're going to fight all the way to the end until they're called by a higher power, say, hey, you got to come to the table. And then they come to the table. Even then, it's not easy. So
right. Once they know that more than 50% of their constituents would probably side with you, they're going to talk to you.
Yeah.
They're going to absolutely talk to you.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you saw this, but like this kind of amplifies what happened in Colorado was that the Seattle Uber Eats had to pay $15 million. You saw this?
Yeah, right? I saw that.
So to 16,000 drivers because of the boost promotion on Uber Eats. Mm-hmm. Because it's the same, they have those transparency laws, a little bit different than ours, but still nonetheless the transparency laws.
Yep.
And what they didn't include was boost. So when they were saying, well, the drivers weren't being paid the boost, well, okay, but you guys weren't being transparent then.
Yeah. Well, look, as technology companies as they say they are, right?
Yeah.
Over the last 3.5 years of doing Show Me the Money, we have uncovered, discovered, whatever you want to cover, glitches, the so-called glitches. Now, are they intentional? Are they unintentional? In my book, I don't trust these companies as far as I can throw them, but I have to have a relationship with them, trying to do something good stuff. But
Yeah.
the point is, we have had many, we've gotten hundreds of millions of dollars for drivers with the Prop 22 adjustment, with the EV shaving, bonus shaving, and with the algorithmic wage discrimination, all these things. But what it is that it takes time. And then once they get busted, like they did in Seattle, right? Steve, it takes so long to uncover this stuff and get to a bottom line that they have already made like 6x the amount of the money, like all these settlements in New York, right? In Massachusetts. The Massachusetts driver still haven't gotten their money. They just got the letters a couple of weeks ago that, yes, you're getting this much money. There is a huge one happening in California, which could be literally a plus $1 billion settlement going on from 2020 to 2016 to 2020. I'm talking $1 billion.
Yeah.
State AG and 3 city AGs are in negotiations, settlement negotiations with Uber and Lyft. I want to get my money. I want to be in that room. I want to talk to some of these folks, because the other thing is the politicians, as much as they may be friendly to you, they don't know the business. They don't understand the business, right?
And if they hear about it from the wrong people before you, or like me or other people who know it, they're going to believe the other people.
Well, the other thing they are is that when they get in a room with Uber and Lyft and they're high-power lobbyists and lawyers, they get starstruck. They go like, oh, I go like, I don't care who you are, bro. You're just another human. But the point is that $15 million that they're going to pay, probably they made it back like 5x anyway. The settlement in New York, this thing, all of these things, right? But again, it all happened because somebody figured it out. Somebody took a screenshot somewhere. Somebody said, wait a minute, I was supposed to get paid boost on this. I didn't get paid. And he went somewhere with it. And then the investigation was done. It took a couple, 3 years probably. But then Uber says, oh, yeah, well, it's a glitch. We're not going to accept that we effed up. We're just going to pay. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But all these things are small victories for drivers. And it only happens when we pay attention, right? Be the eyes and ears. You guys are on the ground. Send me screenshots, because I look at everything, because I have an analytical mind. I don't want to just sit there and complain. I want to dig deep, and I want to dig deep and get you the money back that you deserve to have. But it takes time. It requires patience. And unfortunately, we don't have patience these days.
But it really does take that extra effort. I can say even here, like I was going places. I was meeting people who I didn't know, because if you don't know this already, I'm going to give you a little tip and trick, which we never do here. But none of these companies are watching your comments on social media. They don't care.
I'm going to beg to differ on that one.
For real?
Trust me.
To the drivers who are just saying,
oh, drivers? No, not drivers. I'm just going to say, personally speaking, I know both companies watch Show Me the Money every week.
Oh, live. Yeah. I'm talking about when you just get on their event.
I'm telling you, they watch everything I tweet, right?
Yeah.
And to the point is like, I don't care, right? Because I do hear it. They go like, why would you do that? I'm like, why wouldn't I do that? Well, why did you do that? I go, why did you go shave, EV bonuses from each driver for 4 years?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do any of that. Oh, you didn't do any of that? Oh, what? Out of the blue, money showed up in the driver's account. There's no explanation, of course, because that would be admission of guilt.
Sure.
It says adjustment, $1,500. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. But look, man, from the driver end,
I'm just trying to let drivers know, don't get on social media and complain and think that's going to help.
That's not going to get you anywhere. Oh, you can send them to me, but because all you're doing is like, you're venting out. I get it, but I get their point of view too, Steve. They're venting out. Social media, they post something, they post a horrible screenshot of a trip offer. I understand you're venting.
I'm all good with that.
But if you want to go somewhere And if you have something that's occurring and you're talking to other drivers, that's the other thing people don't do in their own city. They don't know any other drivers. I'm like, how do you not know any other drivers?
Yeah.
You know, coming on social media, tweeting something is not going to get you anywhere. Nowhere.
Yeah.
But what it's going to do is go talk to other drivers, pull over, go to the airport lot, talk to other drivers. Maybe what's happening to you, show them the screenshot. Oh, this is happening to you. Oh, it is. Okay. Then we started an investigation. We tried to figure it out. And then to my surprise, over the last 3.5 years, a lot has gotten fixed that way. It really has.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, it's a glitch. It's like this and that. I'm like, bro, this is not a glitch. Everybody's doing this. What's happening here? And the company, sure enough, say, oh, yeah, we didn't know this was going on. Thank you for letting us know. And it gets fixed and the community benefits from it. My thing is that, though, it's not going to happen if you are not proactive. It's not going to happen if you don't, take the bull by the horns. You just got to do it. But yakking about it on the internet is not going to get you anywhere.
No. And in fact, when the second lawsuit happened here just recently, and I think you're more than aware of it, when they wanted to put the dash cams in the camera or in the cars and make Uber hold all the data and Lyft, it failed. And I'm glad it failed because it really wasn't great. They quoted my podcast on the Senate floor. I mean, they were using parts of my podcast. So obviously people listen. It's just, I don't think they listen to just noise.
That's because the politicians don't know. Then it's not their business. It's a foreign thing. This is a new industry anyway. It's only 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
You remember when we were in Denver, what happened with Senator Priola, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, we don't have to go through it. I'm sure the people that watch Look, these people don't know. They need help. Just because he's a senator doesn't mean he knows about DoorDash. And he doesn't have to. He probably orders on DoorDash or orders an Uber trip. But that's all he knows. He pushes the button and something happens. But he doesn't know that there's a human at the other end of it doing the work, and that human's working conditions may not be optimal. But you have to explain it to these people. So when they're in the room with Uber and Lyft and DoorDash, they go, but we talked to drivers and this is what happened, right? And so, look, man, there's power in numbers. There is power in numbers.
Absolutely.
And, the more numbers we have, the better.
So the two other topics I have, I want to talk about California 1340 and 371 and the Senate bill. I know. And I want to talk about autonomous, but I want to play this little clip. And on the other side, we'll hit those last two issues, you guys.
Sounds good.
Hey there, folks. Looking for those best deals in town? Come on down to Uber Emporium. We got deals and steals here. Officially forgotten miscellaneous stuff for us, direct from the passenger's back pocket to the seat of a random Uber to you. And we pass the savings on. We got deals and steals. Come on down. Everything's 50% off plus surge. You can pay through the app. Don't worry, you're probably getting charged for it anyways. We do get discounts for Uber Teen out there if you can show that. You have to be. We don't care about unaccompanied minors in this store. Let me tell you. Not that Uber does, anyways. But anyways, let's get to the products here tonight. Today we're featuring candy, boxed and individual. We got this brand new half-eaten. Full box bag of Luden's cough drops right here. Wild cherry flavor, that's the best one. Tastes like candy. I like to rub it on my gums in the morning. Keeps my teeth sharp. Anyways, we'll send you the whole bag. Or if you just want a couple pieces, we can do that. We can make that happen too. We got prescription medication over the counter and under the counter, and alongside the counter. What is this? This is just a box, but this is Tylenol PM, folks. So for those long Uber rides that you're gonna probably forget some more stuff and leave in someone else's Uber, don't worry. This could be yours. It could already been yours. Actually, if you forgot it in an Uber, here's your chance to buy it back. But we got Tylenol and Tylenol PM. Let's see here. That's it for medical stuff. Oh, hey, just this forgotten in an Uber Black SUV, but it was only occupied by one person. And not naming any names, but that person happens to be in a lot of legal trouble in the news, if I mention the name. you might be thinking like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they like to party a little too hard. This is a male urinal. So for those really long trips, this comes in handy. Let's see here. Can we get a close up on that? Yeah, boxed, ready to go. Some cleaning required, but yeah, this is a good one. Bathroom safety. It's all about bathroom safety. You know, you don't want to get those cleaning fees for just, you know, whatever the price we're going to let this one go for. Again, everything's 50% off plus surge. Discounts, well, yeah, there's discounts all the time. On the other hand, there's also surge all the time, so it kind of balances out. Anyways, come on down to Uber Emporium. We got everything. Come on down. We'll make a deal. Just call us in the app.
Leave it to Joe. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm like, Uber Emporium. If Uber is watching this,
thank you, Joe, for that.
Yeah, but no, I think he's so funny, bro. He's so funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to get into this because, man, I'm not the biggest fan of any of this, but the way this all happened in that 11th hour, like, I think you and I have even talked about, like, just in general, when they really want to push through a bill, they add like 2 other horrible bills to it. So that if you want to get that through, then these have to come with it. I feel like that usually happens with time, but I feel like this happened in a matter of just hours with Governor Newsom.
Yeah,
I mean, he put 371 and 1340. I've been pretty deep down this rabbit hole, and he literally he walked out thinking I won for both sides.
No. Did you think it was like a backroom deal that they did there, and there literally was no driver representation? There was this SEIU union.
Oh, yeah. But see, part of my problem here, and then I want to let you give your take on this. Part of my problem here is that Karen Anderson, who understands labor law in California extremely well, so originally the SEIU went to the Supreme Court of California after Prop 22 happened. Yeah. And they said this should be unconstitutional. When the Supreme Court of California declared that it's not unconstitutional, you're wrong, deal with it, they solidified the Prop 22 payment schedule, and there is no dollar amount on there. It just says 120% of minimum wage for active time.
Yes.
So now you're going to have these unions, but really the unions, what can they do with the human challenge of a deactivation? Because it doesn't matter what the 9th District said and Judge Raich, because at the end of the day, they still can't debate. I mean, they solidified for life that Prop 22, so you can't debate money. You can't fight over the money.
Yeah, but even deactivation was not in 1340. That wasn't even in the bill.
Right, but I just assumed that has to be something they're going to do, because
there's nothing in that bill. There was nothing in that bill other than SEIU wanting to gain some members who may want to join a union. Even I had Nicole Moore on, RDU president, right? A couple of weeks ago. You guys can go check it out. She hates it. She hates both bills. I mean, I think it was a backroom deal done last minute. I think the company's got an amazing deal out of this. Amazing.
That's what I'm saying. This was a huge win for the rideshare companies.
Huge, massive.
Because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at, here's the details, just so people know that the 371 at least, and then I'm going to let Sergio take it, but 371 took $1 million uninsured motorist plan with
or underinsured as well, not just uninsured.
Right, and
UI and UIM.
Yeah. Yes, but it took $1 million to $60,000 per individual and a $300,000 max per accident.
Yeah.
So they just saved like 70%.
Well, no, we talked about it on Tuesday. David Risher was in Fortune in Utah somewhere. He was at a conference. He's the CEO of Lyft, David Risher.
Yep.
It's public info. You can Google David Risher says Lyft is going to save $200 million because of SB 371. And in the same article, I'm going to hold him to it. Next time I interview him, I go, hey, David, what's happening? He said, you guys can go check it out. Maybe you can Google it, Steve. He said, we're going to pay drivers more with that $200 million. Literally, that's what he said.
I literally have it right here in the quote.
Yeah.
Nick Johnson, director of public safety at Lyft, said, runaway insurance costs under control, maintain the affordability of rideshare.
Yeah. No, but read what David Risher said in that Fortune, where his picture is up on the Fortune article. He said, we're going to pay drivers more with the savings. Literally, that's what he said. So, David, I'm going to hold you to it. Bullshit. None of that is going to happen. But Uber said on the other end, so I'm thinking if Lyft is saving $200 million in market share, right? Uber 75, Lyft 25. So we can easily extrapolate that Uber is going to save $600 million.
Right.
Now, Uber said fares are going to go down. So Uber did not say we're going to pay drivers.
But see, that's the part I hate. Oh yeah, fares will go down. Let me shake your hand on that. Like, where are the details?
And that will create more riders, more affordability, and then you'll be busier as a driver. You'll make more money. That's the same thing I heard for 10 years. Every time they cut the fares.
Yeah,
you'll be busier. You'll make more money, bro. There's only 60 minutes in an hour. It doesn't matter how busy I am. If I was making $1 a mile and I'm making 60 cents a mile, it doesn't work. Math is math, fuzzy math. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was an amazing deal, and you could tell both stocks. Lyft is making a 52-week high, about 18-19. Actually, David Risher's first tranche, because he did $1 billion RSU package, restricted stock unit package. The first kicker is at 20, so stock is about 18.5, 19 now. So he's getting the first 100 mil if it gets to 20 and stays there for a little bit. Dara got his 300 million or 150 million, whatever it was. But both stocks are going higher now because this passed. And 1340 didn't offer anything, nothing to the driver. And even that is questionable because Uber put in some language in 1340 saying that we have to look at the median trip count. Those are the only people that can join a union. But we did our surveys. First of all, 80% of the drivers want to stay independent contractors. They don't want to join a union. They don't want to pay dues. They don't want to do any of that stuff. Okay. Cool. And so it was a great success.
And you're talking about 80% of the 15% that are full-time.
Yeah.
Because the 85% absolutely.
Oh, they're not going to qualify anyway.
Yeah.
They want nothing. They're not even going to qualify. So, they don't drive enough to get the stipend and all that stuff. But
right.
So like Borat says, great success for the companies, for the TNCs. 1340 in exchange for 371, massive savings to the tune of $800 million combined to Uber and Lyft. Uber is going to lower the rider fares. I doubt it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. There's nothing in writing about that. They're just kind of like, we'll lower it.
No, they just say that stuff. They just say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're going to lower rider fares. We're going to make it more affordable. I'm like, well, I mean, Dara, we have screenshots from the past, and let's see if you lower the rider fares.
Yeah.
I honestly, I take Ubers and Lyfts quite often. This past weekend, Steve, we had a wedding to go to, right?
Okay.
My wife and I said, oh, we're going to drink, so we'll just take an Uber. I live in a place called Granada Hills. We're going to the wedding in Glendale. Glendale is about 17 miles away, door to door, from where we're going, okay? It was 7 p.m., no traffic on a Saturday. My wife said, how much do you think it's going to be? I go, probably it's like $50. My wife goes, what? I go, yeah, $50. She goes, what do you mean? I go, well, you haven't taken an Uber and Lyft for a while. The prices have gone up quite often, quite a lot. And so I priced it. I was wrong. It was $62 to go to Glendale from my house. So with the tip, $75. Coming back is another $75 easily. My wife goes, hell with that. I won't drink. You drink, I'll drive. I go, okay, cool. So I didn't take it. That's where the prices are. And out of that, by the way, $62 on a 17-mile trip to Glendale, driver will not have made more than 20 bucks.
I was hoping you had taken the trip because I know you would have asked him.
No, I ask all the time. Like,
so do I.
But no, they don't. But point is, Uber and Lyft got a great deal out of this. Great, amazing deal. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I look, I have a chart right here that shows how the double dipping works. And I think people don't really get this, is that, that's why I think this chart's great. Because the passenger pays, then Uber removes all these fees.
Yeah.
And then they take the cut. What's left over is what they take the cut to the driver for.
Yeah, but nobody knows what the insurance incentives or insurance is. Nobody knows that. Exactly. And in Lyft's case, it's external expenses. And from the first day, I called that hocus pocus. And every time I say hocus pocus, we take shots on our channel. So if you guys want to take a shot, take a shot. It's complete hocus pocus. I have trips that is like, trip would be like $30. External expenses would be like 28. And then Lyft would kick in, so they make it look like they lost money on that trip, actually. So it probably helps their accounting, right? But then it screws up the 70-30 altogether. So we have a battle going on, actually, internally and externally. They don't like it when I call it hocus pocus. It is complete hocus pocus, because same trip, same distance, same time of the day. Sometimes external fees are this much, sometimes it's this much, and they go, the biggest part of the external fees is commercial insurance. Yeah, but I go, it's the same trip, same distance, same time. How's it $20 on one and $8 on the other one? How's that working out? There's no transparency. Nobody understands any of this stuff. I try, but they won't tell me, obviously. But anyway, bottom line, 371. Great job, Uber and Lyft. Great.
And so here in Colorado, with the transparency laws we've passed, they actually are trying to start a voluntary union. And here's how pathetic it is. Here's the email that came through, and let me put it in smaller screenshots. So beginning September 1st, this is just days ago, pursuant to SB 24075, that's the Rideshare Transparency Senate bill. Yeah. You may choose to voluntarily contribute 1.5 to 3% of your per trip earnings to state certified support organization. Now, to initiate or modify your voluntary contributions, please complete the survey. Be aware it could take up to 30. But here's the kicker, right here. The voluntary contribution program will not take effect until only if a minimum of 100 drivers choose to participate. That's how bad it is. They know they can't even get 100.
They know. And that was the same thing with the 1340, by the way. They know once they put that, I call it the poison pill, they put it in 1340, they know there's not going to be any. Yeah. Okay, look and listen. Even if there's unionized drivers, let's say they go on strike, right? Okay, they go on strike. What is the algo going to do? Algo's going to send it to the trips to all the people who are not on strike or who are not part of the union. They know exactly what's going on, man. So I'm like, you guys are just, it's like, it's just a joke. It's a joke. So
yeah, but I mean, when I saw that low of a number, though, I was like, gosh, you guys just understand even that there's no chance. Might as well have just put 10 drivers.
Bro, 3% is a lot. The guy's making $4 on a 5-mile trip anyway. That's a lot. I ain't doing that. Nobody. And then, look, these companies.
No, I mean, just needing we need 100, or they need 100 drivers.
They should be able to get 100.
I don't think they'll get it.
You don't think so?
No.
If they
do, I think it'll be shills and things like that who really
100 drivers. I think they can get there. But all I'm saying is, these companies are smart people. They're very, they're good at what they do, and they are doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. Yeah. So our job is to keep them straight as much as we can.
I mean, if that were to mean anything to anybody I know, that would be like some kind of matching retirement thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You could do 1.5 to 3%. We'll match it.
That would work, right? Maybe, maybe they should do something like that. They say, okay, if you do that, instead of quests, we're going to give you like Uber shares or something. Let me just participate in your success, create some loyalty. They don't do that either. Yeah, although we're talking about it, we'll say, hopefully, stay tuned, guys. Maybe one of the two will go like, hey, look, instead of a ride challenge for $100, maybe we'll give you $100 in Lyft stock. That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that number is so low. It
doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. So 371. I'm going to hold Uber to it to see I'm going to check the rider fares because I know exactly what it costs to go in LA. They said, we're going to lower rider fares a lot. I'm like, okay. And Lyft said, we're going to pay drivers more. I go, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to hold them both to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both those bills trash. I don't know if 371 would have even made it on its own. Again, it got tied in with this thing.
371 probably would have made it because this is public info. Uber was spending $20 million lobbying for it.
Okay.
If it didn't make it this year, it would have made it next year.
Yeah.
Right. Midterms, it would have made it because they're spending stupid amount of money on 371. But they got a better deal. They didn't spend all the 20 million, and then they go like, 1340 in exchange for 371.
I think we're all sick of hearing about Uber's insurance problems, though. Those of us that work these apps, we have insurance problems too. So,
last week Chris came up with something amazing. So this is what we're going to do now. You know how they go external fees? There's that line item. It says external fees, or Uber looks at the take rate as I take city taxes, airport fees, state taxes, all that out, Prop 22 fees, and commercial insurance. Then whatever's left over is my take rate. That's Uber's number. Although if you talk to any driver, they go like, okay, rider paid 100, I made 20, Uber took 80%. But Uber's saying, no, $50 out of the 100 is commercial insurance. I'm like, I don't know. Is it true? Is it not true? Forget about that. So now what we're going to do going forward as drivers, we're going to go, well, what is our external expenses? We have external expenses. We buy gas, we change oil, we buy tires. My personal driving insurance has gone up 40% last year in California. I'm paying for it. How about my external expenses? Nobody pays attention to my external expenses, but I have to pay attention to your external expenses? No, that's hocus pocus as well. So I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, here's a comment about, but you can't do it without the insurance. Yeah, but
it's their look,
but that's the cost of doing, I see it as that's the cost of doing business. So
it's the law. Cost of doing business. That is none of my concern. What your cost of doing. Exactly. Because to the companies, it doesn't look like it's any of their concern what my external expenses are. I know. If you look at the government statistics over the last 5 years, taking care of a car, cost of repairs, cost of maintenance, according to the gaslighted inflation numbers that the government puts out, which is completely lies, none of it is true, it's only 35%, Steve. Last 5 years, that's 7% a year. What happened to my external expenses? It's gone up. If the government's saying 35, it's probably 60. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, I don't buy any of this stuff. I ain't buying any of that. So they got a good deal, Steve. They got a good deal. There you go.
So now let's move on to the final topic of autonomous.
Hey, you're getting him, Steve. You're getting him.
You're getting him. And so it's in Seattle, you are too.
Yeah, Seattle getting it. You know what? Yeah, I want to see you put a cone on that thing.
well. So, but here's here's a basic. Here's a couple of my issues because I know that you even said we probably see more eye to eye than people think on this. We just look at it different ways. But
can I interrupt you for 1 second? Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Can you put that last comment by this gentleman? The last comment. I have a suggestion for you. Why don't you get your own commercial insurance? And if you drive in LA County, you get $1 per P3 mile. And there are a lot of drivers in LA that are doing it. And they are driving Priuses, Uber X, beat up Priuses. For each P3 mile, they're getting it. So assuming commercial insurance, which is better than Uber's insurance, is going to cost you, let's say, $1,000 a month. Okay? It's not cheap. But if you accept every trip with a beat up Prius, which is depreciated completely, and you get $1 bonus per P3 mile, I am sure if you wanted to, you could probably do at least 1,000 P3 miles a week. That's 1,000. That's 4,000. You'll make extra $3,000. Why don't you go get your own commercial insurance and make a ton more money that you're already making? How about that? You have a choice. And
yeah, I heard Buddha talking about that on Rideshare Garage last night. He's doing it
in
Prius,
San Diego. It's 46 cents a mile. 46 cents. San Diego County. It's 46 cents per P3 mile. I like that program.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a question came up, and I didn't get to stick around to see the answer, was if you had to pay for the whole year of commercial insurance up front. Which I thought was a big deal, actually.
It's expensive in California, and I'm pretty sure the deductible is going to be less than the $2,500 you're dealing with Uber and Lyft. So yeah, I think it's a great idea for drivers who, plus now you can do, livery trips. Like you can do private trips because you have your own commercial insurance as well. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, here's Brian in Pittsburgh asking, I have commercial insurance, so why am I paying for it twice?
If you have full-on commercial insurance, that means you're driving upper platforms, because if you're driving X, you don't need to have your own commercial insurance. And I don't think the commercial insurance that they charge, if you're driving black, I don't know the rules in Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh specifically, but it's every state is different. I would check your receipts. I don't think the rider is paying as much for commercial insurance because you already do have it. I mean, like in California, we have something called TCP. It's a different license, different setup. So you probably are not paying for commercial insurance. I mean, twice. You may be paying some, but I don't think you're paying it twice.
Yeah, and he says he does X only. So
why would you have your own commercial insurance then? The company is providing it for you. I'm not sure. I don't know.
He has I know that he has a van too. He has a car, and I know he does some B2B stuff. So
okay, I don't know. Yeah, maybe for other things.
His reasons
for rideshare, you don't need commercial insurance. Anyway, so yeah.
But I wanted to talk about this. So this is August 28th, 2025. This is Waymo's stats, and I think they're just weird. Okay, because I have a few problems here. I have a lot of problems here. But Waymo's commercial fleet in the U.S. exceeds 2,000 vehicles as confirmed by the company on that date, which is just 2 weeks ago. San Francisco, Phoenix, LA, Atlanta, and Dallas, and like Sergio said, soon to be Denver and Seattle. New York City as well, but New York City has a very weird. They can't even take riders in the vehicles right now, and they have to have safety drivers.
Well, they're in Austin, so they're also in Austin, full on.
Oh yeah. Austin.
They're in Austin. They're testing in Philly. They're testing in Boston. So they're testing a lot, but they're coming to your town, to your city.
Yeah. But here's my thing. So if there's, and I'm not even sure that there isn't more than this. So here's what they said about this, though. They said recent estimates suggest that there are at least 4 million rideshare drivers in the United States.
For sure.
Between Uber and Lyft.
Definitely.
So using 4 million, if 2,000 Waymos are out there, that's 0.00057,134% of rideshare is Waymo.
Yes, but you're forgetting something. So there's two things. This is the first shot that they're taking where the weather is not ideal.
Yeah.
Right? Seattle rains 300 days a year.
I don't think they were giving the rides, but if they were doing something in Michigan, though.
Well, they're looking at it. But what I'm saying is that for now, where they're commercially allowed to give rides and earn money, is, as you can see, there is like this parallel that they're all the south of the parallel. So LA, Phoenix, right? Austin, Atlanta, they're all south of the parallel. This is their first shot in snow in Denver, maybe 3, 4, 5 months a year, and Seattle, 300 days of rain. I'm going like, okay, so they may have improved. I get your number, by the way, 4 million, and then you can extrapolate that into it. But what you should be doing with that is that you should be taking the drivers in LA, Phoenix, Austin, Atlanta, where they are able to do commercial trips, and add those drivers as opposed to all of US, because Waymo is not in all of US. That's one.
Right.
Two, you should also figure out that a driver has a 12-hour limit to drive as a human. Right. Waymos don't. Waymos drive 22 hours, probably just about that level, 22 hours a day with cleaning and a little vacuum and charging, and they're back out on the road. So when Waymo comes to town, I have spoken to a bunch of drivers from Austin with only 100 cars, but then their bad luck is Tesla is definitely testing with human safety drivers there as well.
Yep.
Their business is down like 40%. And Uber and Waymo have this sweetheart deal, right? And even with 100 cars, they're killing rideshare business for rideshare drivers. The only saving grace is they cannot go to airports yet in Austin. That's why they're kind of surviving out there. But every driver in Austin is complaining just with 100 cars.
Well, I was going to say Austin is the one market that I don't think we'll have the time to get into those stats, but they're probably the hardest core about all the markets. If I had to pick one, that's where the stats get real bad. But so Uber,
did they say how many cars they're bringing to Denver?
No, I maybe it said there. I don't know.
Well,
I'm going to be really interested to see how the LiDAR survives the freeze, though.
Maybe 100 cars. Let's say they bring 100 cars like they do with Austin. Maybe less, maybe 50 cars, 80 cars, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I do know that, already in Atlanta, I was reading a story the other day about like things I've just joked about in the past. People have sex in them. They leave drugs in them. They do this. So you got to be careful with these rides too, because you can't have a baby and a mom get in after a heroin junkie.
Yeah.
It's really going to take, there's some real hurdles here too.
Definitely are. But, look, my thing about all this AV game is this is the way I'm equating it for the community of rideshare drivers. So a lot of rideshare, we did a survey, only 31%, and there was over 1,500 responses on the survey on our channel. If you guys are interested, go participate, please. It's in the community page of the YouTube channel. Only 31% said they're really worried about autonomous vehicles. And I think they are short-sighted. I think this is going to be reality. I think not just Waymo. I think the big one is going to be Tesla, actually, because the scalability of Waymo is really, really slow.
Yeah.
But scalability of Tesla, because they have the end-to-end vertical integrated system. They produce the cars, they manufacture the cars, they put them out on the road. Specifically now, we don't know. Elon always says something and delivers 3 years later. But when he showed that two gull-wing, two-door, two-person RoboCab, which is supposed to sell for $25,000 and cost per mile is going to be 25 cents, he's going to kill everyone, including Waymo probably, right? So, but what I'm going to do is, because a lot of rideshare drivers, I think, are being short-sighted. They're looking at the end of the tunnel. They're seeing that light. They think that's the exit of the tunnel. No, that's the train coming at you, folks. You're going to get crushed because, like it or not, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, this game is coming to an end. So with that's my opinion only. With that thought in mind, so one last shot that I'm going to do, if I'm at the Rideshare guy still, is this. I am actually putting a fund together to, when the RoboCabs come out, the RoboCabs, the little ones, the two-seater ones come out, I want to have a fund where the drivers can actually participate and create a passive income for themselves while rideshare is still around, that they can invest in. It's all legal. It's, you heard of something called REIT.
Tesla had this idea too, right? About you could be sleeping and your car could go
That's
on.
I don't think that's going to happen, because I wouldn't put my personal car out there for someone to puke in it. There's no way I would do that in my Tesla Model Y or whatever. But the real threat is the RoboCab, is the little one.
Yeah.
And so I do want to buy like 1,000 of them with a fund that I'm going to create. I already have the investors, but what I want to do is I want to open it to driver community. Maybe they can pitch in $100, $200, $300, $500, whatever, or monthly. There's something called real estate investment trust, which they buy real estate and they collect rent and then they pass it on to the owners of those shares as dividends. That's what I want to do with the autonomous vehicles. maybe something called like autonomous vehicle investment trust. But the only difference is in an REIT, the real estate is not a depreciating asset. In an AVIT, that I want to call, is a depreciating asset. But then all the numbers have to come, have to be calculated properly. Legalities have to get out of the way. In fact, I'm going to go talk to Lyft about this idea. I think they're very open to the idea of helping the driver community to transition to the next level. Uber is not even talking about it. I sent emails to Uber. Uber goes, take a hike. All Uber is doing, creating partnerships and trying to get rid of drivers as fast as they can. My opinion, again, this is coming. This is reality for me. I invest in these stocks. I invest in a lot of the Chinese autonomous vehicle stocks that are global. Look, this is reality. You guys may make fun of it or not fun of it.
No. I see it more as, to be honest, I see it more as because like I was also seeing that Uber is Lucid the robo cabs that you're talking about too?
No, Lucid, they made a deal with Uber. Uber invested $300 million in Lucid,
right?
Which I don't.
For 20,000 cars by 2031.
Yeah, but that's not. Plus, each Lucid car is $80,000. Look, this is the other thing that you guys have to understand. Like Uber, until today, had a zero asset business model. They did not own any cars. Now, if they want to play the game and they don't want to get crushed by Tesla and Waymo, they're going to have to get into a vertically integrated business model, meaning now you own the asset, Uber. Now you're going to feel what we've been feeling for the last 10 years, Uber. Now you got to clean this shit, Uber.
Now they got to pay. Now they got to pay both insurance too.
Exactly. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, look, again, the disruptors are going to get disrupted. We'll see. Uber is global. Uber is signing a lot of deals all over the globe, partnerships. And last but not least is like, I want to create something. Like I literally want to create for myself. Like once I retire, I want to be sleeping and then those little robocabs driving. And all you have to do is buy a bunch of them and put it on a network. So Uber is going to get their cut again. But the cost of driving transportation as we know it is going to drastically change in the US. If you guys have not been in a Waymo, I've been in it at least 10 times now.
I've been in it.
You will. Well, you're going to do some content, I'm sure, when they come to.
I haven't been in one here. I've been in Vegas. And,
okay. Don't you think they have improved over the last 2 years? Like they drive as well as I do.
Here was better. The last. Okay, so I've done it twice. The last time I was there doing production work, and I actually had a lot of time to get where I was going. I was going to the Virgin Hotel, which, if you guys don't know, is off the Strip. It used to be the Hard Rock.
Well, Waymos are not in Vegas, though.
They are with engineered drivers.
Oh, okay.
And so, but what happened was I pulled it up in the app, and it said Waymo, and I was like, of course, I'm going to try it. Let's do this. Yeah. And it was like 10 minutes longer than an X. An X said 3 to 5 minutes even in Vegas. Yes. But then it said like 15. It kept pushing that time back and saying, "Oh, we're a little behind. We're a little behind. It kept saying, "Do you want an X instead? Do you want an X instead? Do you want?" I mean, I like I said, I had time. I waited 2 hours for what was supposed to be 15 minutes. Okay. And when I did get in the car, they said they had 2 engineers in the car.
Yeah.
We went down the road, and I'm talking to the guys the whole time, and I said, what's the deal with why are they just like trying to promote it, but they know it's going to take that long? They said, no, usually we have 10 cars out, but today only 3 because 7 are in the shop.
No, look, they're never going to have the density that Uber and Lyft has because Uber and Lyft are not paying for a driver to idle on period 1, right? They're not paying it. They're not paying for P2 either, period 2, which is you're on your way to pick up the customer. You're only getting paid for P3, which is you have a butt in the back seat. Waymos, by the way, are going to accept every trip regardless. But now what the Waymos are doing is that, they're learning the game, obviously, right? They have their own app, but they're partnering with Uber to receive, requests.
That's where I did mine through the Uber app.
Yeah. But I think what's going to happen is that at the moment, Waymo needs Uber, but pretty soon Waymo's not going to need it. But I use Waymo's app in LA. I've taken... Initially in LA, when I did my first trip, maybe a year ago, yes, it did take. And by the way, Waymo's would not pick you up where you're standing. It gives you like a walking location. So I'm going, bro, My Uber driver makes an illegal U-turn, picks me up right where I'm standing.
Right.
And
Or
then,
you could call him. I just saw you go by.
yeah, exactly. Waymo, like I had to walk like 3 minutes to go get picked up, and then it wouldn't drop you off exactly where you were supposed to drop off. You have to walk another 3 minutes after you get out of the Waymo. But now, last Waymo I took, right? Now they're parking in red. They're blocking traffic. They're just like Uber and Lyft drivers now. They pick you up exactly where you're standing, and then they'll just dropping you off exactly where you're supposed to go. So they're improving. And the wait times have gone down quite a bit in LA because they increased the car count. I think they have about 250 cars. And they also learned the demand patterns, right? They're positioning the cars correctly now. It all takes learning. I mean, it's all software, obviously. But
Sure.
look, for your community and my community, they're coming. And you guys like it? You guys don't like it? Each Waymo is equal to 2 drivers probably, because they can drive nonstop 22 hours and then get out, drive another 22 hours, and they're not going to get tired. And
I get they're probably getting a lot of payoffs from the city for, even though we all think, well, Google Maps has plotted the world, what more could be done? They literally are doing some plotting things and selling off that data, because these Waymos are not expensive or are not cheap.
No, they're very expensive, and
they're very expensive.
But they're they have a factory in Arizona now, where the Waymos actually, they bought the last bunch. They're shitty cars to start with. There's Jaguars.
Yeah,
now they're going down to
Chrysler Pacificas, I think.
Yeah, no, initially, well, that was in those days. There's no more of those. Now they're all Jaguar I-Paces, electric, and now they're going down to Hyundai, which is cheaper car yet. And they have this factory set up in a way that the Jaguar goes in, all the LiDAR and cameras and everything gets hooked up. It literally drives itself out of the factory, and then it goes into circulation in Phoenix. So Waymo's parent company is Google. They have more money than God. They keep pumping money in it. And these are not stupid people. This is the future of transportation, and it's going to be cheaper, hopefully safer. I mean, we do see the bullshit accidents that we see on TikTok and Twitter.
Well, and I was going to say too, in Arizona, they can't write a driverless vehicle a ticket.
I don't think they can write driverless vehicle a ticket anywhere.
I think Dallas is. Dallas is like debating that. They're saying, well, you can't just not be able to.
I'm all for that, because if I get a ticket, I'm paying for it.
Exactly.
They should do it.
And that's one of the studies out of Arizona, and even the police officers are in the study saying, like, okay, so there was 212 or 202 accidents, and 73 were the cause of Waymos, but not one ticket was issued.
Yeah, no, that should change, because in California they don't get tickets either, by the way. And I'm going like, no, why? Just because there's no human, write the ticket. We have AI these days. You know what they have in LA now, Steve? Public buses, public transport, right? Metro or whatever. They have AI cameras. So if you're parked illegally on red, blip, it takes a picture of your car in the red and it sends you the ticket. I'm like, hey, put it in front of the buses, put it in front of the cop cars. Have these Waymos get the tickets, and just like we're getting the tickets. I mean, why shouldn't they get tickets?
And that's the other thing. When you go into the reports that even the officers wrote, even the officers were like, I don't get it. They're like, my report is 70% redacted.
Yeah.
They're like, it's just like, it looks like a Congress meeting. It's like, again, everything's out of there. Like, you can't read this. Why?
Yeah. Again, powerful companies. Google is a $2 trillion company, 10x of Uber. Uber has a lot of power. Google has a lot of power. They're putting a lot of money into this. They put in billions, tens of billions into this, and they're seeing something in this. Okay. And I don't think it's just for, $5 trips on a $150,000 car with all the bells and whistles on it. You know what I mean? They're seeing some other stuff in here, which I kind of have thoughts about it, but we'll talk about that another time. But I want to do this for myself as a passive income generator, buy a bunch of them in a fund and put them out there, call Uber and say, hey, Uber, I got 100 cars. I want to hook you up in your network. While I'm sleeping, they'll be driving and making me some money. And, so.
I mean, that's where I'd go back to that 1.5 to 3% giving money to who knows where it goes. And we said, do a matching retirement. Why not do a matching investment into that?
Okay,
Chris.
Look at it. Okay, Chris. Look at it. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna talk to you later.
But yeah,
anyway,
I don't know. I mean, I know that. Look, I know they're coming, but at the same time, I almost feel like it was Trojan horsed, and this is kind of weird because while everybody's been speculating, and you and I know that they've been saying, "Oh, autonomous is the next year" since 2018.
Yeah.
But they've been doing this, and now all of a sudden they're starting to use at least somewhat realer dates, no matter what is the reality. But now we're learning that in 2 years, 30 to 50% of entry level white collar jobs won't be available.
Absolutely, AI is coming.
But I'm saying, it's like, oh, you guys were all worried about the robocars?
No, I wouldn't worry about that part. I would. You know what I would.
You guys need to worry about. You can't find a job.
You know what I'm worried about the most? Because if you look at, I look at macro data quite a bit because I trade and invest or whatever. The unemployment rate in the newly graduated college kids is skyrocketing. They can't even get a job, let alone if you went to college and studied some 4-year undergrad useless degree you came out with. Good luck, number one.
Don't tell me that. My son just started.
Yeah, well, college is completely overrated. Tell him to go do it. Tell him to do something with his hands where AI or robots cannot do.
Actually, I'm not too worried about his. His is sports medicine.
Okay, well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of broken knees and hips, and that's fine. But my thing is with I'm worried about most. Okay, seriously, there's a rideshare drivers obviously, but then most part they're all part-time, that kind of thing. Anyway, the truckers are the lifeline of this country. Okay, they're the ones that drive hours and hours and hours on those highways, right? And to bring your Walmart, your Target, your Costco, your food, your groceries, and your clothing, whatever it is that is required. I'm telling you, they're all going to be replaced. And this guy has been doing this for the last 30 years. You can't retrain this guy, learn him how to write code. I'm telling you, I don't want to be negative here, but I think this AI thing is going to change a lot a lot of people's lives for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's why I'm glad I'm at the age I am, because I'll be in Spain, retired, while my RoboCab is driving and making me some US dollars. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's the plan. So,
your daughter went to college.
She's actually graduating in her 3rd year out of a 4-year, and then she's going to go to med school now next year. And I told her not to become a doctor. I said, "You're making a big mistake, huge mistake." I go, "You're going to spend another 10 years. I'm going to pay for it. God knows how much money that's going to cost.
Yeah.
Before you make a dime," I go, "I bet you your brother is going to make more money because he wants to be an electrician." And I go, "By the time you come out of school," I told her, "go do biotech. Go get a job at Amgen, Biogen. Get your stock options. You're smart enough. Use AI to cure cancer maybe or some shit. I don't know, Steve."
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be 18, 20 years old right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I don't see the flip side.
No,
I don't. I'm pretty good at that too. I'm pretty good at going, okay, it might not be equal, but at least there's this. With AI, I'm having a lot of trouble seeing where anybody's gonna.
I don't even think they know, because they're all like sugarcoating things. Yeah. Oh, there's going to be new things people can do. I'm like, no, this is not like the steam engine or something. You're creating something that is 200 IQ smarter than any human on the planet next 2 years. Right. I go, what am I supposed to do? What can I do to compete with this thing?
Right. And I saw a news piece the other day that said that, our population is down. We need to get why do we need more people?
Yeah. Well, yeah, to sustain the,
But I'm saying, what are you going to do with we all know universal income's a joke. It's never going to happen, and it should.
I hate it, but it may be an eventuality. Because what are people going to do, Steve? How am I going to eat?
I don't know.
A roof on my head. I know it's a horrible idea, but what if people? There are millions of truckers in this country.
Yep.
Granted, they may have some jobs when they need to get parked or whatever in cities or whatever, but on those highways that they drive hours and hours, autonomous trucks are coming, like it or not. Yeah. What is that guy going to do? I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. The tech bros are taking over.
Yeah. I guess that part of what I was saying though is that while we've been focused on all of this autonomous driving stuff and this, that, and the other, all of a sudden we knew about AI, but then boom, hey, AI is going to run everything, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
can probably say in the last like 8-10 months,
Yeah.
I've really repositioned myself with what AI is.
Yeah. I thought initially like this can't be good, man. I mean, I'm competing with super intelligence here. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Because with AI, they can put an avatar of me and then talks like me, better than me probably, and you can do anything with these things. I'm going like, what's a human worth? I don't know. Yeah, life is about to change, as if we don't have enough problems in this country anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And then with AI, I'm jobless, unemployment. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But we have to end on a good note.
Yeah.
So I want you to get in a Waymo when it's snowing. Take one for the team. Take one for the team.
Oh, I will.
Record that whole
I
damn
might jump in front of one.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. He may not stop. Don't do that. Just get in one when it's okay. Well, get in one when it's already snowed. There's some snow around. You know what I mean? Let's see how this thing does. Look, I'm telling you, the two places that I wouldn't think they would be going, they're going. Seattle, literally like 290 days it rained in Seattle.
Yeah.
And Denver, snow. Yeah. I mean, how much snow do you guys have in Denver? Like,
see, that's the thing. I think it's a little deceiving because here in Denver, like the mountains get tons of snow, but here in Denver, we don't see a lot. I mean, we might get like 4 or 5 days where it dumps.
Okay.
But my thought is they'll just turn the Waymos off those days.
Yeah, like they did in LA. When the riots were happening, they burned like 6 of them. They all took off.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, to be honest, Tony's in my market too. He's in here and he knows, like, him and I can do like dueling Waymos. And like,
yeah, you guys should do that.
See if we can get them to collide or something. I don't know. Like,
it's going to be interesting. And then, I'm sure the drivers will, and they'll position it where it's the busiest, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, it's coming. And, you don't have to put your head in the sand and say, nah, I'm okay. I'm like, nope, you're not okay. You're not okay. It's coming.
And another thing of mine is that obviously this AI, this white collar stuff, it's going to bring more people to the gig economy. So this gig economy, you better try and figure some things out here pretty quick. Get creative into other spaces and stuff. And
there's, I mean, as we know, they're testing those little coolers, boxes, coolers, Coco and Servo Robotics and all that stuff.
I never understood. I mean, I know they've tried it, but I never understood why that just didn't go to every college campus on America.
It is. There's actually
that should be really where they're testing.
Yeah. But if you come to LA one day, Midtown, those Servo Robotics robots everywhere, bro. Everywhere.
Yeah, and they've got the little flags and the kids chase them in the road, and
they're everywhere. And dogs kind of like them. They go sniff it. They go like, "What's this?" I might piss on this thing. But those are coming too. So look, gig work is going to change as we know it, rideshare or delivery, because automation is automation. You can't stop this because there's so much money at the end of this that's why humans are not worth anything to these companies, or they never were worth anything to start with.
So again, I'll bring it full circle to end on a good note. Is that like we talked about in the beginning? Use your downtime and optimize it to other things.
100%.
Like I told somebody I was doing a podcast and I said, listen, in a perfect world for me is to have 10 streams of income that are all equal, 10% each. Because if one goes down, I'm not dead in the water.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket, just like investing, right?
Yeah.
Diversify. But if you're only in one thing and that gets automated, now you're fish out of water. You have no idea. Until you catch up, people will run by you, lap you around. So, but look, it's not all bad, but people need to start thinking about how to participate in this new economy. Maybe, I don't know.
Or even more so, help create it.
Yeah.
I mean, because to me, some of the things I've read, that's why I was saying, why are they telling people to have kids? Because according to what I'm reading about AI, there's no need for humans anymore. So
Yeah,
then I'm like, well, why are we even having the AI? Because it seems like it's to eliminate the humans.
I don't know about AI. It seems like a bubble to me as well. I mean, there's like a pissing race going on. I got to get there first. You got to get there first. They're spending hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars, actually. I mean, they have to get money out of this somehow. A business mind thinking ROI. What's my ROI? I'm just building a data center for 300 billion. Yeah. And I'm giving the thing away for free. I mean, how am I going to make money? Or I'm going to charge $20, $50, $100. How am I going to get those billions out? I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a bubbleishness going on there too, but we'll see, man. It's an interesting world that we're in. We're in it. Got to make the best of it. Listen, my friend, thank you for having me. I know you wanted an hour, but every time I'm here,
yeah. We're done.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me, but I mean, my hat's off to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Congratulations. Stay healthy, so the community needs you, and let's do some more work together, and do the best we can for the community. But again, thank you for having me.
Of course. And you guys, that's a wrap. That's 500 episodes in the book. I mean, that's done, man. That's done. So huge thanks to Sergio and everybody joining today on the live or on the replay. We made it to 500. So until next time, you guys, be safe, earn smart, and be good to each other.
That's right. I got to open the door. My son